You're right.
Okay.
Not used to having a stage here, Charlie. Not used to having a stage.
Okay, everybody ready?
Yeah,
Cool. How's it, guys? I'm just warning you ahead of time. I shake like a mofo. I've got an issue with shaking. My missus doesn't complain though. So I'm just warning you up ahead of time. Okay, I'm going to title Damsel. It's a really nice, it's quite a little intricate damsel. It's a nice fly for the clear water and stuff, especially this time of year. You go to Knotties, you go wherever you trout fishing, normally the water's generally pretty clear. So this fly works really nice. It's very realistic. So, yeah, and it just works. I mean, I've caught bass on the thing, I've caught trout, you've caught smallies, everything you can think of, they eat it. It's just very natural. Alrighty. Okay, so I've got a size 10. I like a short shank hook. A lot of your damsels, if you look at them, they're not a long body. It's not like a big dragon, it's a whole body. You've pretty much got the head thorax section and you've got the tail. And I like a lot of movement in my fly, so that's where the little pine squirrel comes in. You'll see that just now. So, yeah. And eyes and stuff like that. Eyes you can go wild with. I mean, a lot of guys, red-eyed damsels, but you can mix it up. I mean, you go to a little hobby shop and stuff. You go and see that one. There we go. So yeah, there's tons of different beads. I mean, you can pick up packets of beads for $5 for there's 150 beads in here. And you can go wild. There's so many different colors. So that's what I enjoy. You can really mix it up a lot. Okay. So what I'm going to do first, I don't know if any of you guys have made your own eyes before. Yeah, you can, not from mono, but I'm going to put beads on these ones. I've got 80-pound nylon. Yeah, you can go down, but this one just fits nicely. So, okay. So what I'm going to do first, obviously I'll burn one end of the mono. That's quite heavy mono, you can check. I'm just going to burn it. Don't burn it too much depending on how big your eyes are. But you obviously don't want your eyes to pop off, because that's the worst. Because then you get a freaking damsel that swims in circles after the time. So, all right. So, and when you're burning it, don't burn directly underneath the mono. Burn next to it because the heat will just melt it and it'll stay clear. If you want it to go black, burn underneath it. Then you'll actually get like a black pupil depending on your color of using clear eyes or whatever. All right. So I'm just going to burn next to it. Just be careful, nylon does get hot. It does leave marks. What you can is you can wet your finger and you can just touch it on the end. Just make sure you wet your finger first, because else you're going to learn the hard way. Alright, so that's what I've got on one end now. Just a pretty much a little ball at the end there. Now I'm going to stick my eyes on. If I don't shake too much and I can get it through.
You're making us seasick.
I warned you. You imagine how I try and tie flies when the fish are eating, huh? It's difficult, I promise you. Never mind if the sun's going down, then it's even worse. But it helps with the retrieve, I must say. It gives a bit of shine. No, you have no idea. I hope that like 32's eyes like this. Like
Any relation to Uncle Louis?
Wow, from the shaking point of view? No. No. As I said, I should have been a gynecologist. Everyone says I should have been a gynecologist. So there I've put the eyes on. Now I'm just going to shorten that nylon. Obviously I've got a very long piece of nylon, so I'm just going to cut it down. It's up to you. Sometimes the guys like to have their eyes moving on the end so they can like wobble around a bit. I like it just to be pretty set, and so you've got to sort of judge how much you're going to burn at the end. So you don't burn it too short. Yes, if you can see that, that's pretty much how much I've left. Yeah, you can see. Okay, so I'm going to melt that piece. What's nice is don't melt it too close together so your eyes are touching. Because when you've got to tie them down, there's no gap in between for you to actually tie it down. You want a bit of space to tie them down.
How much space?
All right. What's that?
How much space between one
you've just got to judge it because you're going to be dubbing through it as well. So you've got to leave a little gap. Yes, I can't hold it and you can see. But if I can keep it still, then you can check it. Yeah. Alrighty, because they have made some R's. If you want to tie a couple of these, just make up a couple of R's first. It's a lot easier. Okay, so just going to put some thread down.
Color red important?
No, it depends on the. Sometimes I'll tie it off with like a fluoro orange head, just as a bit of an attractor or whatever. But maybe in a bit of dirtier water, not in the clean water. This is going to go like more natural, so not too bright. So it's a black thread or olive thread, it's perfect. Okay, I'm going to tie my eyes down first. This is quite tricky because you don't want to tie it too far back and you don't want to tie it too far forward, obviously, because you're not going to finish it off nicely. But also your damsel's eyes are quite far forward on the body. If you look at the damsels, they're right up front. So I'm just going to tie it. There's enough. I've left enough gap there in the front just so I can tie off because I'm going to pull over some peacock herl and stuff. Obviously, you want to tie your eyes down nicely. I go around the top of my eyes a couple of times like dumbbells. You can put a drop of super glue in the middle as well if you want, just to hold them there. All right, then I'm just going to go back a little bit. Put a base down. What you can do now as well is you can put some lead in. I'm going to put some lead in if you want a bit more action. If you want it to be really more natural and you want it to drop slowly, then you can leave the lead out. You can put as much lead in as you want. It's totally up to you. I just put a little bit behind the eyes. Just right up to the back. Alrighty, so yeah, there, I've just put a little bit behind the eyes, just so it can get a little bit of a diving action. It's nice to fish it on a floater. It gets down a little bit quicker, and you get a nice action because it's going to sink quite slowly with a pine squirrel. It sinks nicely. You'll see once I've done the legs, you'll see how it falls nicely. All right, so this I'm just going to build up a little bit. So I'll tie the lead down a little bit. And I'm just going to build it up behind the lead a little bit as well, just so there's a bit of a taper, because it obviously comes from thick to thin. All right. Okay, so there's our body and our eyes done. Now what I'm going to do, I don't know if you guys know what pine squirrel is. It's a pine squirrel. Write that down. That's pretty much a squirrel, but it's got very thin and short hair. I don't know if you can see. It looks like zonka. They cut it like zonka, but you can cut it very thin. So you get very thin pieces, not like our normal zonka, not generally quite thick. This you can get thin, even like like your mink and stuff like that. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do, it's up to you as well. You can decide how long you want your tail. You can make it as long as you want. You can make it as short as you want. I don't like it too long. Let's see, probably about the length of your hook, maybe the total length of your shank. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull the skin away. I'm going to decide, okay, that's long enough. You can see I've pulled the hair back. Then I'm going to cut it. Okay, so I've cut a piece off. And now what I do, instead of a lot of your normal zonka, you leave it like that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull some of the hair off. And I'm going to leave a piece at the end.
You're pulling where you've cut it.
Yeah, I'm pulling off from the skin. So I'll show you. I'm actually pulling it from the skin. There you go. You can see there. I'm pulling it off of the skin. So it's leaving it. All right. Just got to be careful. Sometimes it breaks the skin, so you've got to be a bit careful. And don't throw away the bits that you tear off. All right, so that's what I've done. If you can see, I've pulled it off. All right, so I've got a piece of skin that's got no hair on it, and then I've got a little bit at the end, so I've left a little piece. And we're going to tie that down at the back. Yeah.
It's like a German trample.
Okay, that's different.
All right, so yeah, they've got a bit of a tail, and it's got a lot of movement in it, which is nice. Because the skin's so soft, you're going to get movement out of it. With a bit of lead in it, you're going to get that nice action. What you can is you can make 1 or 2 turns underneath the zonka if you want it to stand up a bit. I've never had tail wrap on it. So yeah, I think 1 or 2 wraps underneath will just keep it nice and proud, so it'll stay up a bit. All right, so that's what it looks like for now. Okay, and then those little pieces now that I showed that we took off that hair, you can use that again. You can use that as dubbing, just for the back part of the body here. Obviously, keep it nice and slim. Damsels are very delicate, and you don't want them to be too bulky. And okay, so you can dub the body. Obviously, you don't want it to. You want it to sort of start getting towards a thicker point, to more bulkier in the front. You want it to be nice and thin. All right, there you can see it's nice and buggy as well, which is nice from the pine squirrel. So you get a bit of movement out of it and a bit of bugginess. Okay, and then once you've come to the back of the lead, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take some peacock herl. Take about 4 to 6 strands of peacock herl, depending on how thick you want it. Also depending on how thick your peacock herl is. Cut off it. And you're going to tie it in there where the lead is and where you've stopped dubbing. Just tie that in nicely. Okay, that's also going to bulk up the head a little bit, so you don't have to dub too much. And then the next thing, what I've got here, this is guinea fowl. You all know what guinea fowl is. It's really nice stuff. You can use it for soft tackles, which is it gives you very nice sort of variation. It's got that broken pieces, which is nice. This is a green one. You can use normal as well. This is what I'm going to use for my legs. All right, but my legs are going to be a little bit different. I'm not gonna turn it, but I'll show you. Let's find a nice piece. Okay. So what we're looking for is something like that. All right. What I try and find the stiffer ones, because I'm going to make legs out of these. Try and find, if you can find a short one like this, but it's nice and stiff. Those are the best ones to use. And these have obviously been dyed so they stay soft. All right. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to strip all the bum fluff off, that cuck stuff. Okay, and here's where it gets a little bit tricky. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to count. I'm going to count 3 on each side. All right. So I'm going to try to find 3. Just sort of, hopefully they're in line. Try and get them to be exactly opposite each other. This is where it gets a little bit intricate. Okay, so what you can is you can pull them open a bit like that. So you can start seeing what you're going to do. Sometimes what you can is you can leave 2 together. And then you can make 1 leg out of that. I'm just going to try and keep them apart. Okay, there you go. So there's my 3 that my 6 that I've pulled apart. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to tie these in. Obviously your feather's naturally going that way, so you're going to tie it in the wrong way around pretty much, because I'm going to be pulling it back over the head, so you want your legs to be facing back. You can do it the other way if you want, but I prefer to pull it over the top. And now what you must do, what you must remember now, when you're tying this in, you've got to remember you're going to be pulling it over a little bit of dubbing. So you've got to give yourself a little bit of movement to pull it over. Or else your legs are going to end up like half in the back. All right.
Have you tried it without the legs?
It's not the same. Okay. You can make 1 or 2 wraps and just pull it up. Just tie that piece down. You can cut off that excess. Alrighty, okay, so that's all sorted. Now I'm just going to, pretty much easy, I'm just going to dub the head.
Can you swivel it so you can see from the other way? Ah, okay. Yeah.
Okay, so it's pretty much lying back like the peacock quill is now, because we're going to pull it over. All right, then yeah. Also, this you can mix up. I'm gonna stick with the olive. This is just an SLF dubbing. You can use that. What's that bright stuff? The bright dubbing. Yeah, the SLF. Yeah, that you can use that if you want. It also gives quite a nice effect. This has also got a bit of flash in it. So this I'm just going to dub nice and thin. We're going to make a little bit of a head. I'm going to come around the eyes as well, just to cover up. Go in and out between the eyes. Just make sure you've covered up the bottom section. A lot of times you miss that bottom section. There's like a gap underneath the eyes. Okay. So just make sure that's all cool. Alrighty, looks alright. Okay, now we tied in the guinea fowl. Now I'm going to pull that over the top. There you can see it's over the top now. You can make 1 turn behind the eyes, just so it sits nicely. Get that down nicely as well. And you can cut off that stem. Okay, and then just to get rid of all that mess and stuff, you can put another little bit of dubbing just around the head. Sure. Can you see? Let's see. A little bit difficult to see, but you can just see them there. They're sticking out there. All right. Okay, then I'll just put a little bit of dubbing around that there. Okay, so your legs are down. There you go. Okay, then I'm going to take the peacock quill, pull that across the top. Got a bit of a thorax on them, the damsels, so just going to pull that over the top. I'm going to tie it down in the front, behind the eye. No, the hook eye, behind the eye. Behind the hook eye.
In front of the eyes, behind the eye.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. Yeah. Has anybody got a whip finisher for me? Sorry, I forgot mine. And I'm terrible with my finger. Said the actress to the bishop.
With the shakes like yours, no wonder you don't use your fingers.
You got one coming.
Got it. Okay, cool. Sorry, I forgot mine. I'm terrible. My shakes are whip it over the eyes. Thank you.
You'll end up getting it better.
Yeah. I haven't even started casting it yet. Okay. Okay, so yeah, 1 or 2 turns over the peacock quill. Let's just do that again. Hey, not used to this one. Hey, man.
It's probably because it's a down eye.
Probably. Oh, that's going to be nasty. It's not built for shakes. So. Okay. Okay, then I'm just going to cut that off. Okay, then I'll just finish it 1 or 2 times. Oop-choo. Okay. Okay. That was the easy part. Now, what you got to do, guys have all got bodkins, you know, they look like these little sharp, funny things. But I'm just going to I'm going to separate the legs. This is, you can leave them like this if you want. If you want to be, when I don't shake so much, then I do this. Okay. So my legs are pretty much splayed there a bit. Try and splay them as much as you can. Just separate them a bit, because the next part gets a little bit difficult. Okay. What I'm going to do now, because it's finicky and I shake a lot, I'm going to heat up my bodkin a little bit, but not a lot. If you heat it up too much, you're going to burn your legs. This is just to make it look pretty now. So I'm going to just stick the lighter a little bit, and I'm going to find one of my legs, I'm going to bend it forward. And that heat bends the leg, and it kinks it.
Are you actually putting pressure on the actual fibre?
Yes, yeah, on the fibre, yeah. You just sort of got to grip it, and you just push the bodkin in, just so it bends it. You can bend it backwards if you want, so it looks like it's swimming with its legs back. I like to bend it forward. I mean, the damsels, they're not a very active swimmer. They swim wriggly, and then they hold, and then they just drop, and then they'll swim again. So, as I said, don't do it too much, else you'll burn it off, and then it's not fun. Oops. And don't worry, you will burn yourself with the bodkin.
So you're bending them all?
Yep. Yeah, you said my fly last time wasn't too difficult, so I thought I'd up the ante a little bit. Get that on. Okay, let's just do that one quickly when we're done. There we go. Alright, so yeah, you can bend them down so your legs go down, you can bend them up, it doesn't really matter. You can't really see that well on the, but it's bent, yeah. Sometimes you get quite long feathers out here, but you can just cut them down. Sometimes it helps with a longer feather because it's easier to grip, and then you can. What we also used to do is take like a pair of forceps. You could actually warm the end of the forceps up and just grip it quickly and turn it, and then it would bend. So yeah, that's it. In my shakes and all, it's a nice little damsel. As I said, for clear water and stuff, it's absolutely awesome. It's quite a realistic looking damsel. It looks better up close, I think. So yeah, it's quite.